Picture a stick figure sitting alone at the end of a long day. It made one small mistake, a wrong word in a meeting, a forgotten errand, a text it wishes it could take back. And now, inside its head, a voice has started up. You always do this. What is wrong with you? Everyone noticed. The voice is sharp and it does not stop. Here is the strange part. If a friend had made that exact same mistake, this stick figure would have been kind, gentle, understanding, but to itself, merciless. Many of us live like this, carrying a harsh inner critic that we would never, ever use on someone we love. So today, let's talk about how to loosen that grip. 7 calm truths about being gentler with yourself. Being hard on yourself can feel responsible. Like if you just criticize yourself enough, you'll finally improve. But it rarely works that way. A mind under constant attack does not grow. It shrinks, it hides, it freezes. Self-compassion is not about lowering your standards or making excuses. It is about changing the tone of the voice inside, so that you can actually keep going. These 7 truths are small. None of them ask you to suddenly love everything about yourself. They just ask you to stop being your own worst enemy. And notice, that harsh voice probably hasn't actually made you a better person. It's just made the journey lonelier and more frightening than it needed to be. There is another way to walk through your own life. Not with cruelty as your companion, but with something quieter and far more powerful. Patience. Understanding. The willingness to begin again without punishment. First truth. Your inner critic is a habit, not the truth. That harsh voice feels like it's reporting facts. You're not good enough. You're behind. You're failing. But listen closely, and you'll often hear that it isn't even your voice. It's a borrowed one, a strict parent, a cruel teacher, an old comparison you absorbed years ago and never questioned. The critic repeats the same lines so often that they start to sound like reality. But repetition is not accuracy. A thought you've had 10,000 times can still be completely wrong. The first step is simply to notice, to hear the voice and think, that's the critic talking, not the truth, just an old loud habit. So here's the practice. The next time you hear that harsh voice, give it a name. Some people call it the critic. Others picture a grumpy little figure on their shoulder. When you notice it start up, say quietly to yourself, "Ah, there's the critic again." Naming it creates a tiny gap. And in that gap, you remember something important. You are the one listening to the voice. You are not the voice. Second truth. Talk to yourself the way you talk to a friend. Imagine a good friend came to you and said, "I made a mistake. I feel like such a failure." You would never say, "Yes, you really are. You always ruin everything." You would say, "Hey, it's okay. Everyone slips. This doesn't define you." We are often capable of enormous kindness. We just aim it outward, at everyone but ourselves. Self-compassion is not some special new skill you have to build from nothing. It's the kindness you already have, finally turned in your own direction. You already know how to be gentle. The only question is whether you'll let yourself receive it. Try this. When you're being hard on yourself, pause and ask one question. What would I say to a friend I love if they were feeling exactly this way? Then say those words to yourself. Out loud if you can. It will feel strange at first, almost embarrassing. That's normal. Keep going anyway. You are simply learning to treat yourself like someone who deserves care. Because you are. Third truth. Mistakes are how humans learn, not proof that you're broken. Think about how a child learns to walk. They fall again and again. We don't call the child a failure. We don't say it should give up. We understand that falling is simply part of learning to walk. Somewhere along the way, we forgot to give ourselves that same grace. We started treating every mistake as evidence of some deep flaw, instead of what it actually is. A normal, necessary step in getting better at something hard. You are not failing when you stumble. You are doing exactly what learning looks like. Messy, imperfect, and completely human. Here's a small shift. After a mistake, instead of asking what is wrong with me, ask, what can I learn from this? The first question is a dead end. It only leads deeper into shame. The second question opens a door. It turns the mistake into information, something useful you can carry forward. Same event. Completely different path. One keeps you stuck. The other helps you grow. Fourth truth. Being kind to yourself is not laziness. This is the fear that stops many people. They think, if I'm gentle with myself, I'll lose my edge. I'll stop trying. I'll fall apart. But the opposite tends to be true. Harsh self-criticism is exhausting. It drains the very energy you need to improve. When you constantly attack yourself, part of you starts to avoid trying at all, just to escape the pain of failing again. Self-compassion does the reverse. When you know you'll be met with understanding instead of cruelty, it becomes safe to try, safe to risk, safe to begin again. Kindness isn't the thing that makes you soft, it's the thing that lets you keep showing up. So when you catch yourself thinking that being hard is the only way to stay motivated, test it. Look back honestly. Did all that self-criticism actually make you happier or better? Or did it just make you tired and afraid? Then try the gentler way for 1 week. Encourage yourself the way a good coach would, firm but warm. Notice which voice actually keeps you moving. Fifth truth. You are not your worst moment. When we're hard on ourselves, we tend to zoom in on a single failure and let it swallow everything. One bad day becomes, I'm a bad person. One mistake becomes, I always mess things up. But a single point is not the whole line. You are a vast, complicated person made of thousands of moments, kind ones, brave ones, ordinary ones, and yes, a few you regret. The regretful ones are real, but they are not the sum of you. No one would judge an entire book by its most awkward sentence. Don't judge an entire life by its hardest moment. When you feel yourself shrinking down to one mistake, gently widen the frame. Remind yourself of the fuller picture. Say, this is one moment, not the whole of who I am. Then name one kind or capable thing you've also done recently. It doesn't erase the mistake, it just puts it back in proportion, where it belongs. 1 point on a very long line. Sixth truth. You don't have to earn rest or gentleness. So many of us live by a quiet, brutal rule. I'm only allowed to be kind to myself once I've been productive enough, once the list is done, once I've proven my worth. But that finish line keeps moving. There is always more to do. So the kindness never comes. Here's a gentler way to live. Rest is not a reward for finishing. It's a basic human need, like water. You are allowed to be gentle with yourself on the hard days, the unproductive days, the days you didn't get it all done. Your worth was never the deal. You don't have to earn the right to be treated kindly, especially by yourself. This week, give yourself one moment of gentleness that you have not earned. Rest before the list is finished. Speak softly to yourself on a day you got nothing done. Notice the discomfort, that part of you insisting you don't deserve it yet. And offer the kindness anyway. You are practicing a radical, quiet idea that you are worth caring for exactly as you are right now. Seventh truth. The goal is simply to be on your own side. Let's be honest. Self-compassion does not mean you'll suddenly love everything about yourself, every day. Some mornings you'll still feel disappointed, still wish you'd done better. That's part of being human, and that's okay. The real goal is smaller and steadier than constant happiness. It's this: to be on your own side. To face your life, your struggles, and your mistakes as an ally instead of an enemy. To know that whatever happens out there, the voice in here will not turn cruel. That when you fall, the first hand reaching down to help you up will be your own. That is what it means to stop being so hard on yourself. Not perfection, just loyalty to you. So tonight, before you sleep, try one small thing. Put a hand on your own chest and say, I'm on your side. It will feel awkward. Do it anyway. You are not promising to be perfect. You are promising to stop fighting yourself, to be, from now on, a little more of a friend. So let's gather these 7 truths. Your inner critic is a habit, not the truth. Talk to yourself the way you'd talk to a friend. Mistakes are how humans learn, not proof you're broken. Being kind to yourself is not laziness. You are not your worst moment. You don't have to earn rest or gentleness. And the goal is simply to be on your own side. You have carried that harsh voice for a long time. You don't have to carry it forever. Start small. The next time you slip, just pause and be a little gentler than usual. That small softness repeated can change a whole life. There may be a quiet voice asking, but what if I don't deserve that gentleness? Hear this clearly. You do. Not because you've earned it, not because you're perfect, but simply because you're a human being doing your best in a hard world. That is enough. It was always enough. Thank you for spending this quiet time here. Be kind to yourself today, and take care.